Hello humans and welcome to my revamped, world-class SeñorTortas Developments YouTube channel, or STD for short. Now I'm doing a complete makeover and trying to rebuild my tortas brand, but through the midst of all that, one thing will remain the same. It will always remain the same actually, and that is my love for the greatest game on this planet Earth, good old baseball. So come and join me in my journey as I seek to become the fastest growing MLB the Show grinder on YouTube. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to your favorite torta. Okay, so now here you're seeing a sneak preview of the GOAT, Dick Choo. He's a 5'5", 220 pound starting pitcher slash center fielder. He's freaking way better than that two-way player down in Anaheim. And he's got a jersey number 69 naturally. So you're going to see him in an upcoming Road to the Show series that I'm doing. I'm actually planning to have 3 main series. That is Road to the Show, Diamond Dynasty because obviously you have to, and franchise because I've been a big franchise lover since the PS2 days. And I just love that whole budgeting and planning and constructing and all that. So I kind of want to take a deep dive there. I should also note that 21 will most likely pretty much be captured all on my PS4 because I'm a poor motherfucker. So if y'all want to see some PS5 footage, it's very simple actually. Just give me money. Just kidding. But you can't help by liking, sharing, subscribing to your favorite torta. Okay, so now let's get down to the meat of this thing. So today I'm going to try to build my initial Diamond Dynasty team for 5,000 stubs or less. That's the 5,000 that we all get when we purchase the game. So doing this, it's about me exploiting market inefficiencies, kind of like finding diamonds in the rough, which I think in baseball, that's what separates the elite organizations from the kind of sort of good front offices. And that's why you got teams like the Yankees, the Giants, the Dodgers, my Dodgers, Andrew Freeman and staff. I mean, they have a lot of money, but they also know how and when to use that money and when to not just stupidly blow that money like the freaking Arte Moreno Angels. Dumbass. Because everything has to have a budget, you know, otherwise you live in some Candyland or in some video game. What? And then you got teams like the Rays who they're just churning out impact player after impact player on the dime, you know, on a really cheapskate, financially stringent budget. And I get it, man, they live in a crappy stadium, but they also get revenue sharing, which means the richer teams give them a lot of money. Reportedly in 2018, it was as much as $45 million. They also signed a brand new cable deal in 2018, I believe. And if we're being honest with ourselves, the Tampa Bay Rays was one of the few teams that was least affected financially by the pandemic. Now, this isn't a rant on the Rays per se. I love that organization from a baseball standpoint. They're top notch. They're right up there with Freeman's Dodgers, and he actually came from over there, so they know what they're doing. But I guarantee if they spent just a little bit more, just into that 80 million, maybe $85 million range, the way that they so astutely manage things, they'd be freaking unstoppable. I mean, they'd be winning ship after ship because of how incredible they are at player development and finding those diamonds in the rough. But I guess that's why they never won a World Series, and Kevin Cash pulling out Snellzilla in Game 6 of the World Series when he's flat out dominated. Too soon? Speaking of Snellzilla, so he's not having the best start to his San Diego career. But I mean, man, he's still striking out people. He be whiffing people. I mean, he's looked the part at times this year. You just gotta bet on the stuff, the talent, the determination. I mean, this is a guy who's been a postseason horse. Anyway, right now I think he's just way undervalued. So I get him at 200 stubs. And I'm not saying he's 2018 Cy Young good anymore, but he's definitely way better than that 5.5 ERA he has right now. So I'm betting on Snellzilla, definitely. Big buy. Hey, it's Chris Taylor. CT3 for the All-Star game, everyone. Tyler Mahle, breakout candidate going into the season, and so far he's delivered. Alex Wood, Desclafani, they're both former Reds. They're now on the Farhan run Giants, freaking traitor. But I mean, I hope you're noticing the trend here, guys. Sticky substances or not, pitchers league-wide, they're having career years. And so I say ride the train as far as it'll take you. I'll believe Manfred's little enforcement when I see it. And so now here we have 2 third basemen, both from the Central. Yoan Moncada, he's having a great year on base percentage-wise. He's also, his power's starting to come back. And he's still a freaking silver man. He was a freaking MVP candidate just 2 years ago. And I just got him for 250 stubs. And that's just amazing. Man, you gotta love that free market. Freaking buy. Eugenio Suarez. Now, I'm not as big a believer in him as Moncada, just because there's so much swing and miss in his game and because he has a relative lack of discipline. But he also has right now a plus 15 versus lefties. To be honest, he's freaking better than 76. And if I also need an emergency shortstop, I can just slot him in there. So Eugene, definitely buy. Albert Pujols. The machine, such a legend, all-time player, all-time person for the major league minimum. Thank you, Arte Moreno. Dumbass. But yeah, not a buy. So I keep getting this thing where I have to go through this stupid tutorial and I get stuck at the customize your squad stage. Now it's not my internet because it's not my internet, so it's a stupid bug. An unhandled server exception occurred. An unhandled server exception occurred. An unhandled server exception occurred. Your mom. Hey, it's the bazooka. Okay, so I originally had the disc version. Apparently my PS4 doesn't like discs anymore, bitch. So I got this digital download thing. What is that? I went through the tutorial. This time I was able to get through. So Jock versus Schwarber. So I guess that's the decision that the Cubbies made this winter. They're actually very similar players, but Jock has better defense. He's clutch, and quite frankly, I've always hit better with him. So Jock Peterson, bye. Luis Castillo's another guy that, I mean, you just gotta bet on stuff. He hasn't really been striking out people this year like he has in the past, but I'm still betting on him. So he has like a 2.28 ERA also in his last 4 starts, so that's something. And the Reds pitching coach, Derek Johnson, is one of the best in the game. Honestly, any coach that Trevor Bauer speaks highly of, he's got to be doing something right. So yeah, at 151 stubs, Luis Castillo, freaking buy. Just gonna get rid of some buy orders here in order to get Blake Treinen in his 99-mile-per-hour freaking wicked sinker. Astros. And so now that I got a solid bronze and a solid silver foundation, I'm going gold, man. So like Lucas Giolito, he didn't get off to the best start this year, but you know what, he's a freaking horse. He's really one of the true few aces of our game. He strikes out people, he's got velocity, he's got movement, 4+ pitches, at 1,000 stubs for a guy who's been a top 7 Cy Young finalist for 2 years in a row. He's a freaking steal, man. Bye. Alex Bregman, he's such an incredible hitter. He's got vision, discipline, matches left-handers, above average fielder. He's versatile, he's got it all. He's so freaking cheap right now for a potential diamond player, but he's also a freaking cheater. I don't know if I should get him, it's such a hard choice. Yeah, it's really not that hard. So now we get to the good stuff. Mr. Shohei Ohtani. He's not that good at baseball, not at all. He only hits baseballs 500 feet away. He can play the outfield, he can run like a Giselle, and he also throws 100 miles per hour with absolute filth to play it off of. And he's only a fucking gold, man. Freaking buy. Of all the Astros to be a diamond, I did not think that Yuli Little Eyes Gurriel would be one of them. And trust me, I know how good he's been. I have him on my freaking fantasy team. But at 35 years old, and he's just not pulling the ball in the air enough to justify the numbers that he has right now. And that's what you pretty much have to do at Minute Maid Park. I mean, that's why Alex Bregman hit like more than 40 homers in 2019 over there. Not because he's this big slug, big bopper, but because he's a smart hitter who tries to find any advantage available to him. Cheater! Excuse me. I don't know what got into my throat there. Oh man, I can't do this whole voice recording thing. I need to train my muscles. Figaro. Kershaw, I love you. You're the GOAT, man. You're still the GOAT. Don't worry, we'll get you another World Series to make up for the one that the Astros stole from you. Okay, I'm done. So some of these players, for being live series players, are really freaking overpriced in my opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong, Nolan is great, best defender of all time at third base, but I mean, he's got no speed, he's got no discipline, he's pretty average against right-hand pitching, and they want 84,000 stubs for him. And then you got my man Cody, who's, I mean, I love Cody Bellinger, he's a super 5-tool player, but he had a horrible 2020. He's barely played this year, and he's over 100,000 stubs. Oof. There's my guy. Let me tell you, the Nationals, they knocked out my Dodgers in 2019 fair and square, but it was just such an absolute pleasure to watch this dude rake in October. He could literally go down as one of the best hitters, no joke, maybe the best hitter of all time. And he's only like a year older than me, that's the crazy part. Okay, so here's a perfect example of those market inefficiencies that I was talking about. So 42 Babe, he's awesome, no doubt. But Soto, he's undisputably the better overall hitter when you combine the contact, the power, the vision, most definitely the discipline. So sure, the Babe is a better hitter against lefties, and he's a better defender, but slightly in its left field. I mean, it's not like it's center, you know, or shortstop. So like maybe the Babe is worth more than Live Soto right now. I can concede that. I accept that. But is he really worth 6 times more? That's where I'm gonna have to disagree. Freaking buy. B. Woody. Another absolutely underrated ace of the game. He throws 99 miles per hour, fucking amazing slider that he just tunnels so well. He can rake as well. And I mean, just look at those attributes. I mean, just everything's way above average. There it is. B. Woody, 5,001 stubs. Amazeballs. And so there's my squad, just gonna set my rotation, bring in TJ. Now this is SeñorTortas Developments, which means I am a Mexican. And I have the Mexican flags, my little logo thing, and my team is literally so eloquently called the Mexico Tacos. So it will behoove me to have a Mexican on my team. So I'm gonna buy Julio sometime soon because he's just an absolute phenom. He's having an incredible year. But for now, Vegan, he's not a bad choice at all. You're freaking kidding me? He's got a 95 mile per hour fastball from the left side, and he tunnels that with a fucking filthy slider. Add. Okay, so adding up our squad numbers, what do we get? We get 17,620. Ding, ding, ding. Now, obviously, we didn't spend on every single card. There were a couple cards that were already there, like Cedric Mullins and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. We have to take that into account. And then we also have to take into account that I did sell some stubs from some players that I just didn't want. One of those players was actually Noah Syndergaard. I just didn't want him. So I quick sold him for 1,000 stubs. So subtracting that and taking that into account, our net amount spent was 13,824 stubs. It's pretty amazing. I mean, obviously I don't have the best team out there, but I do have some pretty good players. I have Lucas Giolito, I have Brandon Woodruff, Ohtani, Juan Soto. You know, in that sense, kind of like the Freeman Dodgers. You know, originally they didn't spend that much in payroll. They actually cut back on spending. It was part of the long-term mentality. It was about getting really freaking good baseball players when they knew they could pounce them, such as Mookie Betts after 2019, and now, well, hell, now we have TB as well. Okay, so there's our squad, guys. So did we actually end up accomplishing our goal? Did we build our team for 5,000 stubs or less? Well, the short answer is no. It is virtually almost impossible to build a really good team that can compete with the best for only 5,000 stubs. But that's not what this is about, actually. That was just clickbait, sorry. What this was about mainly was showing you that, you know, there are many different avenues towards having a solid foundation. So obviously this isn't going to be the team that I'm going to have the whole year that I expect to be winning many games with, but I have that foundation, I have that core basis, and from there I can build up. You know, I can do moments, I can do conquests, I can play online, and just keep getting more and more better players. And when I have the opportunity as well, I can pounce on the player and just buy him, just like that. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a little and were able to take something away from this. Remember, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to your favorite torta. Peace be with you and praise Jeebus.